Digital experts Todd Hewlin and Scott Snyder lay out a modern guide to business success and longevity. Become the disruptor rather than the disrupted. Using their assessments and implementing their rules will help you digitize your firm and your career to avoid a slow death at the hands of startups and digital natives. Either way, you'll be in a better position to establish a solid defense and offense in fighting your digital battles. Leaders of established firms will probably gain the most from the author's ideas. Digital disruption works both ways. Many large traditional firms have gotten smart and fight back. You've heard the story. Nimble upstarts with staffs of social media savvy millennials change entire traditional industries by digitizing stale business models. The giants of the industry, helpless to fight back, wither and disappear. For example, consider Blockbuster or Nokia. In truth, many incumbents develop strategies to defend themselves and even turn the tables on the startups. General Motors, for example, nearly went bankrupt in 2009, but has since modernized aggressively, building on its early forays into electric cars. It has stormed into the market with its Chevy Volt and Chevy Bolt lines. It's also participating in the ride-sharing trend and preparing for a driverless future with large investments in startups like Cruise and Lyft. Digital disruption can feel so urgent and fast-moving that it paralyzes some leaders. History shows that disruption takes time. Amazon, for example, has been hacking away at brick-and-mortar retailers since the mid-1990s. That said, you can't afford to wait. Plan your transformation now and think big. Forget incremental improvements to your products or services. Disruptors aim to market products or services that are at least 10 times better than yours. Encourage innovation throughout your firm. As a large company, inventory and then leverage the many advantages you have over startups. List the strengths you possess as an incumbent, such as things that 80% or more of your customers would agree make you compelling, or things fully within your control that would take a startup at least 12 months to replicate. Don't count industry knowledge as a strength, because your competitors can acquire it easily. Instead, consider your ability to fund innovation internally. Startups spend enormous time and effort raising capital. If you have a strong brand, use it to ease entry into peripheral lines of business. Take advantage of your existing customer base when launching new products. Disruptors must acquire each new customer from scratch. Leverage your data, normalize it, understand it, and analyze it for insights. Startups have little data at first, but as a large firm, you have data that are extensive and likely untapped. Use patent protections or industry standards and regulations where you can to block or stall disruption. Being average is no longer an option. Winners take most of the pie. After digitization, market success no longer follows the normal distribution of a bell curve. Instead, the left side of the curve grows the fastest, while the middle hollows out. Digital laggards slide to the left and experience disruption. Those who hope to stay average, where the curve used to peak, find nothing there. Savvy people and companies embrace change, get ahead of it, and reap the rewards of landing on the right side of the curve. Get ahead by considering future developments. Tesla, for example, has reinvented the automobile market, not so much by offering electric cars, but through the proposition that your car will get better over time. By offering regular, free upgrades that continually improve safety and performance, Tesla has changed the game. In the past, clever firms watched competitors adopt leading-edge tools and then followed them if those tools looked promising. The advantage to first movers was small, even when they guessed right. Fast followers could benefit from observing the pioneers' experiments first and rushing in only once innovations proved successful. Today, waiting isn't an option. Financial services firms Vanguard and Schwab acted quickly and invested heavily when startups launched robo-advisors. Their fast adoption of this technology may have saved them from becoming irrelevant. Like Amazon in retail, Google in search, or Vanguard and Schwab in financial services, winners in present markets usually end up with most of the business. Moreover, winners' advantages compound over time as they amass more data, enabling them to decide and innovate even better and faster. As an established company, observe 6 rules to ensure your place among the winners. To understand and leverage your company's strengths and to keep the upper hand, follow 6 rules. First, deliver step-change customer outcomes. With your list of incumbent advantages in hand, consider which ones represent your greatest strengths and match your customers' needs best. Prioritize your next steps accordingly. Now, define your goal. Remember, you're not looking for incremental improvements, but for drastically better outcomes for your customers. Make sure your firm has the specific abilities to make them happen. Keep the customer front and center. Some customer segments will prove conservative, others aggressive in their adoption of new tools and processes. When you start, you'll probably have the skills and tools available to help only your conservative and pragmatic customers. Visionaries will want things you can't yet deliver. Stick with the conservatives and pragmatists first and work your way up. For example, Uber's first and foundational service simply provided cheap, easy, and unscheduled transportation. Plan your base offer carefully as it will form your go-to service or product. Make sure it's a complete package representing something your most conservative and likely most numerous customers will want. From there, add layers of complexity and sophistication for more advanced customers. For example, Uber has introduced limousine and helicopter services. The second rule is pursue big I and little I innovation. To succeed today, you must perform now and also plan for future performance. You need little I and big I innovation. Little I means doing what you do now, just better. Big I means reinventing how you do things. Both play important roles. Form an innovation team consisting of your top performers. Appoint the CEO or a Chief Innovation Officer to lead efforts and to champion an enterprise-wide culture of innovation. When you spot little I opportunities, plan their implementation by assigning accountability to your team according to measurable milestones. Build learning into each project so the innovation team improves continually. To uncover opportunities for big I innovation, focus the team's thinking outside the current business model. Encourage them to explore future customer needs and wants. Support and protect your team and provide incentives for taking risks and thinking big. Create a Venture Investment Board, VIB, of visionary senior executives to decide which big I initiatives are good for investment. Make decisions about big I initiatives by thinking from the perspective of the competition, how they might respond, and also from the perspective of customers. Test your assumptions about market size, pricing, expenses, revenues, and profits, and explore how your innovation will work in practice. Consider having proponents of the idea make Shark Tank-like pitches on design and prototypes to the VIB. If the idea survives all scrutiny, pilot it with willing customers. If afterward it still looks good, your VIB faces a big decision: launch big or fold. At this stage, you must either place a big, expensive bet or move on. The third rule is use your data as currency. Harness your data to turn the tables on disruptors. Ensure that your data and the data's algorithms and insights constitute a clear competitive advantage for your firm. At first, Netflix may have seemed innocuous to the big networks, which happily licensed their content to the platform. Then, by gathering, organizing, analyzing, and acting on all the massive data its subscribers created watching TV, Netflix emerged as a prime rival. Know your data and where your data are. Leave no stone unturned. Untapped data may sit in individual departments, with individual employees, or external service providers. Focus on data that will help you make predictions about your business and your customers' preferences. Look for new, categorized, consistent, and reliable data, especially data to which only you have access. Make sure to assess your costs and risks in maintaining and protecting people's personal information. Think about how you can generate even better data with algorithms and use artificial intelligence and machine learning tools that can improve your decisions exponentially. Consider employing sensors and internet-connected devices to collect data on how your customers use your products, just as Nike does for its running shoes and Tesla for its cars. To accelerate your progress, look into machine learning platforms you can license from suppliers like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft, rather than recruiting teams of scarce, expensive data scientists and doing it all yourself. The fourth rule in understanding and leveraging your company's strengths is accelerate through innovation networks. Naturally, you want to move faster and do more than your capabilities permit. Don't scale back your ambitions. Instead, tap into partners and other external sources to augment your innovative capacity. You don't have to invent everything in-house. Companies that embrace open innovation earn significantly higher revenues than those trying to innovate on their own. Push back against people who reject external help because they want all the credit. Take risks and reach out to collaborators who can accelerate your progress toward your goals. Procter & Gamble leveraged networks with more than 1 million external scientists, and these cooperations resulted in hugely successful new products. Partner with universities, customers, suppliers, and open innovation platforms like Innocentive that can connect you with potential people to work on your opportunities. Set up a special group to explore and critically evaluate these opportunities and make it as easy as possible for external innovators to work with you. NASA, for example, used the Innocentive and Yet2 platforms to help build a network of more than 15,000 external people working on its challenges. NASA has also put out large prizes to attract ideas in solving its most difficult problems. The fifth rule is value talent over technology. The most important rule involves people. The right talent will determine your success more than any other factor. Bring in experts, but pair them with people who know your business. Find designers, developers, and data scientists, but also include behavioral scientists and people who understand emerging technologies and how they might affect your industry. Invest in continuous learning and skills development, in targeted recruiting, and in creating teams with complementary skills. Nurture managers with deep knowledge and skills in important domains, as well as those who bring broad institutional and industry knowledge along with an entrepreneurial mindset. Adopt labor-augmenting AI and machine learning now. Start by pairing employees with AI where it makes sense. For example, in areas that are simple and repetitive or which require complex calculations of lots of data. Chatbots, for example, can handle customer queries. Within several years, some employees will lose their jobs to machines. Start preparing these employees for new roles. Encourage a growth mindset across your firm, including curiosity about digital innovation and technology. The final rule is reframe your purpose. Discover your true purpose by answering the 5 whys. Ask why your company does what it does. Then challenge your answer, and each successive one, with another why question. For example, why do you produce running shoes? Because people will buy them. Why will people buy them? Because they want to be physically active, and so on. This exercise will allow you to see opportunities that are truly related to your current business. Next, change any mindset that might cause you to reject innovation merely to protect current business. Keep making money where you're currently profitable, but set up a parallel team or organization to pursue your best ideas. Nurture a culture of innovation and internal entrepreneurship. This includes maintaining investments in innovation and embracing the ideas and preferences of millennials and Generation Z, that is, digital natives who prize purpose and contribution. Prepare your board for change by bringing them up to speed on leading-edge innovations in your industry. Rally employees, suppliers, investors, and customers around your redefined purpose. Finally, make sure that you, as leader, embody the new purpose in what you say, do, and prioritize. Create a digital playbook to chart the path forward. Balance little I and big I innovation. Invest in both so you'll have a strong defense and offense. Document your end goal, what you'll do to get there, and the reasons why you are pursuing it. Establish priorities among initiatives. Build in measures and other means of feedback to gauge your progress so you can make necessary changes. Assess your professional capabilities with reference to implementing the 6 rules. Notice and address any gaps. For senior leaders, the 1st and 6th rules are the most important. For managers, focus first on your ability to act on rules 2 through 5. If you are just starting your career, treat every rule like a priority. Try to balance your career among your needs to earn money, to fulfill your most heartfelt aspirations, and to give back to the world. Make a personal plan and a personal purpose statement, and then get started.